point I'm trying to get across is, if you take away anything from this video, it's to do practice exam questions. That's what's gonna get you to understand the concept of the NBCOT exam. Practice, practice, practice. Okay guys, let's talk how to pass the NBCOT on your first try. Clear and simple, straightforward, and I am a horrible test taker. Took the ACT 5 times, and it's all about how to take the test, how to understand the questions, what they're asking you, and breaking it down. Okay, you guys, so I have my tablet here, and this is what I did. So I used, my program kindly got us the NBCOT study pack, and they created like somewhat of an 8-week breakdown, and I broke it down into the material that I wanted to start with. I started all the way from the beginning of the program with general rules, terminology, things along those lines, and at the end of each week, I did a 5-day study plan. On the 5th day, I would take and do at least 5 practice questions, and then I would review all the material I had written, and then solely focus on the material that I fully didn't understand or just needed to review a little bit. Then the next week, do the same thing with new material. The 5th day, I would take at least 50 questions, and this is broken up into 8 weeks. So as you progress throughout these 8 weeks, you progress the amount of practice questions you do. That's what's important, is you need to know how to do the test questions, because it's very by the book. And so say I got to the 3rd week, now I'm on 75 practice questions. You're trying to build up your exam tolerance, because I think it's like 190 or 200 questions. It's literally since last November that I took the exam. But you need to build up your tolerance to taking it. Went from 75 questions at the end of the week to 100 questions, from 100 to 150 until you get to that 200 mark. I also strongly recommend doing the NBCO study pack, also therapy ed. They're trying to see if you know the raw material of what encompasses occupational therapy. I would also recommend doing purple book questions. Those are free if you can't afford therapy ed or NBCOT, struggling to say that. Go to Quizlet, look up NBCOT practice purple book exam questions, and I bet you 1,000% you will find Quizlets with 800 to 900, 200 exam questions, and it's just good, more extra practice questions. If you don't feel like studying one day, practice questions. Sit down, do 20, 25, just so you have that constant input. And say you have an exam question that you got wrong. Okay, why did we get it wrong? What did we not understand about that material? I want to show y'all just a little bit on my tablet. I wrote all my material on my tablet. I broke it down in my notes. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, week 7. So going into week 1, it's a bit of chaos. So for week 1, I did roles of an OTR and OTA, levels of performance, supervision, OTR role, OTA role, scope of practice, our domain. And I would say I studied about 5 hours a day. And then at the end of the week, love my beautiful little drawings. At the end of the week, what I would do, I'd sit down, I'd review all this material, just read it, and I'd take the practice questions. After that, I'd move on with my day. It's so important to give yourself rest and not to burn yourself out and stress yourself out when you're studying, because you're gonna overwhelm yourself. So for week 2, I did the same thing. For week 2, role in OT work programs. So all this yellow is day 1 of my week 2. All the yellow. Yes, my hand hurt. This is day 2 of my week 2. Pink. Continue, continue, continue. It may seem like a lot, but it's really not. Day 3 of my week 2. Go, go, go. Day 4. All the material. Apparently I only studied 4 days. See, like, it doesn't need to be this rigid study plan. Then I took 50 exam practice questions, and I moved on. So if you're doing 50 exam practice questions each day of a week, you're really marinating in the material. I want the point I'm trying to get across is, if you take away anything from this video, it's to do practice exam questions. That's what's gonna get you to understand the concept of the NBCOT exam. Practice, practice, practice. Even if you don't even touch or study or review material, which is crazy, but if that's what you want to do, the least you could do is take practice exam questions, because it's gonna set you up for success. It's gonna help you understand. Again, they're not trying to set you up for failure. If you guys have any more questions, please let me know. OT Dude is wonderful. He literally has a free breakdown of all the material to study. I didn't review it all because there's a lot. But he does have a free study plan if that's what you want to follow. And then OT Miri has a beautiful breakdown of all the videos with representation and drawing, and she just has such a good way of explaining everything and, you know, making a hard concept very simple. So if you guys have any more questions based on how I did so well on my exam the first time around and passed the first time around, let me know. I just build up your test tolerance, take practice exam questions, and you will really set yourself up for success. So